Это самое тихое место на свете. Вы потом сами увидите. Тут так красиво. Тут ведь нет никого.
Мы же здесь.
Close your eyes. If the sound of ticking Geiger counter make you instinctively check your backpack for medkits, some bandages and a handful of bolts, maybe some artifact, it means the zone never truly left you. But how did a notoriously unforgiving game from 2007 embed itself so deeply into our gaming DNA that we spent over a decade waiting for a sequel? When S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl launched, it didn't just introduce us to Eastern European survival RPG action horror, it completely redefined player agency. You weren't a chosen hero, you were just another trespasser in radioactive wasteland that actively wanted you dead. Well, at first, but I don't want to spoil the concept of zone legends yet. Between the invisible gravitational anomalies that could tear you apart, the terrifying underground labs, and the sudden encounters with not very friendly bandits, the zone felt terrifyingly alive. It was an ecosystem. Packs of blind dogs hunting at night, factions like Duty and Freedom waged ideological wars over scraps of irradiated dirt, while the fanatical monolith guarded the center of the zone with their lives. With S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 bringing us back to this raw, unforgiving world and an upcoming DLC promising to pull us even deeper into the dark, we have to ask, what kept the blood pumping through the franchise during its darkest, quietest years? To understand the survival of S.T.A.L.K.E.R, you have to understand the technology underneath it. The original trilogy was built on X-ray engine. It was a technological marvel that allowed for a complex A-life, an artificial intelligence system where NPCs and mutants lived out their own lives off-screen. S.T.A.L.K.E.R would scavenge, fight and die, whether you were there to witness it or not. But let's be honest, it was also notoriously fragile. Crashes, broken quest lines and physics bugs were just another hazard of the zone. Some say that bugs were the anomalies. When the original development studio faced massive hurdles and the franchise went dormant after Call of Pripyat in 2009, the zone should have died. It should have become a nostalgic memory, unplayable on modern operating systems. But classic RPGs and survival games have a unique power. They create homes for their players. And when the developers had to step away, the players stepped up. This is where the story shifts from the creators to community. Modders didn't just fix the X-ray engine, they practically rewrote it. Projects like the Misery mod introduced brutal new survival economics. Then came Call of Chernobyl, which stitched every map from the trilogy into massive open-world sandbox. Eventually, this culminated in S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly, a standalone 64-bit total conversion that modernized the engine, overhauled the graphics, and made the zone more dynamic and terrifying than ever before. And oh boy, how well it worked! The atmosphere was there, but the detail, the complexity of the zone was shining through the monitors, like the Shining Zone. Wink. The community took a broken, brilliant masterpiece and essentially created their own sequel while waiting for the official one. They proved that a great game doesn't belong to a server or a storefront, it belongs to a people who play it. And if something belongs to the people, that's what we like in GOG. So more on the Gamma mode, Adim. Adim!
Today, the pinnacle of this community effort is S.T.A.L.K.E.R Gamma, a massive modpack built on top of Anomaly that turns the game into a hardcore, narrative-driven survival simulator. There are no weapons shops, so if you want a good gun, you have to scavenge parts, maintain your barrels, and survive the elements. Historically, installing a modpack of this size meant wrestling with hundreds of files, load orders, and inevitable crashes. But at GOG, our mission is to make sure that gaming history remains accessible. That is why we worked to bring the monumental Gamma project directly into the GOG one-click mods program. You don't need a computer science degree anymore to return to the zone. You just click install and you are immediately dropped into the definitive community-built survival experience. It is our way of honoring modders who kept this franchise breathing, ensuring these classics are preserved and playable for decades to come.
With S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 expanding on the horizon and a massive new DLC on the way, the legacy of the zone is stronger than ever. But it wouldn't be here without the preservationists, the modders and players like you. A special thank you to our GOG patrons whose support allow us to dive deep into these histories and keeping these games alive. Before you load your rifles and head back into the radiation, drop down into the comments. We want to know, what was your most terrifying encounter and unforgettable memory from the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R trilogy? Stay safe out there, Stalkers, and as always, thank you for watching.